Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third session of Indigenous Artists and Storytellers that features Indigenous artists who are being shown this month on the NAC's Kipnis Lantern. I'm Lindsay Lachance. I'm the Artistic Associate of Indigenous Theatre at the National Arts Centre, and I'm so excited today to be speaking with Germaine Arnatayak, who is an Inuk artist that is featured on the Lantern this month. So to begin, could you please introduce yourself and let us know where you're from?
My name is Germaine Arnatayak. I was born near Igloolik. My parents and my uncles and sisters lived with us for many years. I was born in Manitou, where they started their camp, and that was 1946. So I grew up in sod houses, sealskin tents, dog jeans, and that's how I grew up as a real Inuk, I would say. And until I left to go to school in Chesterfield when I was 9, almost 10, I started late. And that was the end of my living in a camp.
What does it mean for you to have your artwork shown on the NAC Kipnis Lantern, which is a huge public-facing spot in downtown Ottawa?
Well, I'm very pleased. I do my work, my artwork, and hopefully it will give young Inuit some inspiration that, they can also do artwork. We Inuit have a lot of legends. It goes from generation to generation up to now. And it's so much easier now because everything is written down, and young people should read them.
How did the images that you created help to shape the stories that we saw in the performance of Unikaktuat?
Remember in the story, the little island was crowded and it tipped over.
Yes.
And you see, it floating. Actually, there's a German little girl, pretty well in the middle. Little girl with long hair. I used that as part of my life because I almost died when I was about 11. I almost drowned. It was springtime, and there were a lot of ice pans around the shore, and we were playing, and that's how I fell in the Arctic Ocean. Probably was about 5 minutes. Of course, I didn't know how to swim, but my father rescued me. I probably was very, very close to dying. And so I decided to do this little girl. That's me.
Your work featured on the Lantern as well as in the performance of Unikaktuat showcase Inuit stories and life. And I'm wondering why it's important for you to incorporate these stories into your art.
Well, I was in art school in Winnipeg. I was learning about art, but over the years, I actually started looking at Inuit culture because I left when I was very young, and I didn't know enough. And then I started reading about myth and legends because we didn't have written language. It's very hard to go back until explorers started coming to Nunavut area in Baffin Island and Greenland. So I have read explorers. I follow Kenneth Rasmussen's books. That's where I actually learn about myth and legends from my Igloolik area and across Canada. And because he spoke Inuktitut, he didn't make up anything about the stories. So that way, I pretty well could get facts.
A lot of your pieces show a connection to Inuit and land and Inuit and animals. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about this connection that we see in your work.
Well, actually, I don't like doing animals. I try to avoid animals. But if it's part of the story, then I have to include animals. I like doing human forms, human figures. That's my thing.
Well, Miigwech, thank you so much, Jermaine, for joining me today and talking with me. I really appreciate it. And we're all so pleased and so excited and happy to have your work up on the lantern. It's really changing the whole space of the NAC and the streets around it. So thank you so much for your amazing gifts and your offers. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. Miigwech.
Okay. Thank you.